Ads on here, they don't seem to last. Also, I noticed that they only last 24 hours. If I don't hit the save, okay. When I go to look my name up, I don't. Or when I look up presidential candidate, my name don't come up. And when I look up David Farmhouse, it says presidential candidate, but I can't run my ads. When I look up the name David Farmhouse, I can't look up my ads, so it don't really do a lot of good. People that watch me live can see me live, but if I look up my name David Farmhouse, I can't play my ads. If I look up presidential candidate, it don't work, but I don't think it does good. Anyways, I'm running for president, and I think my live ads sort of work, so I'm going to repeat my live ads. One of the reasons I'm running is I see an injustice in the way we get paid. That's like if you work at McDonald's, you kind of get paid with borrowed money. If a construction worker comes in there, he gets paid with borrowed money. If I go to the bank and get a loan, I have the money in my pocket, and until I go back and pay the money that I can borrow back to the bank, and then I no longer have the money in my pocket. Okay, if I work at McDonald's, when a construction worker goes in there with his, he gets paid with borrowed money, so when he goes in there with his borrowed money, okay, he has money, but when that loan that he got paid with gets paid off, he no longer has money, so McDonald's worker no longer gets the money that he got paid with. So whenever the McDonald's worker goes anywhere and spends his money, that money no longer gets spent. So the whole thing sort of like snowballs, where nobody in America gets paid, because everybody in America gets paid with borrowed money right on down the line. So nobody in America is getting paid, because we all get paid more or less with borrowed money. If you get in a fight, you do anything you have to do to defend yourself. Now, I'm repeating myself, because I think the only time people see me or will watch this is a live thing, because I don't think they get to watch old recordings, because I don't think they see old recordings. I watch old recordings, but I don't think anybody else can. But like if you get in a fight, you do anything you have to do to defend yourself. During a war, when Germany attacked America, nobody was working, and we more or less started out in debt, or we weren't in debt, but we went deeper into debt to defend ourselves. We sent a lot of equipment overseas, and we went farther into debt. You kind of start out at zero, and you increase the debt. You go millions and billions farther into debt, but then on the positive side, you have thousands and millions in your pocket. Although you go farther into debt, you have more money in your pocket. But as you pay this debt off, you have less and less in your pocket. It's sort of an odd thing. Nowadays, they say we're trillions in debt, but where did this money come from? Nobody had $1 trillion. How can and they want to pay this debt off, but we're paying it back to nobody. Okay, during the war, we had a War Department. I want to have a Department of Peace that will spend just as much money in times of peace as we do in times of war. And in spending this money in times of peace, I want to spend it for future times. It's like back in World War II or whatever, they spent money for geared to that age. I want to spend money geared, let's say, for the year 2050. Okay? Now, they're working for like $7 or $8 an hour or whatever at McDonald's. I want to figure $100 an hour, 60-40, where the federal going to pay people to go over during World War II to fight over in Europe to defend the world peace. They pay people to go over there and fight. I want to pay people in America to work in auto plants or McDonald's or anywhere else to do the job over here. This money will come from nowhere through the department, this peace department. Like 160-40. McDonald's get 40% of this $100 an hour pay scale on. The McDonald's get 40%. The person working at McDonald's gets 60% of this $100 an hour to work at McDonald's. That's pay scale on. A college student, that's like working at McDonald's is hard work. Going to college to better yourself. Okay, that's 60-40 of $100 an hour. If you have an old student loan, 20 years retro, the federal government will pay off your student loan 20 years in the past. If you went to college for 20 years ago and got a college degree, the federal government will pay off a student loan 20 years in the past in America. If you went to school in America and have an old student loan, okay. Social worker, secretary, and jobs along that line, a waitress in a restaurant, or, other than McDonald's, a waitress in a normal restaurant, will $200 an hour. The federal government will pay a waitress or a waiter in a restaurant $200 an hour. Person in an auto plant, $300 an hour. A bush pilot, carpenter, jobs or a truck driver, $300 an hour. Okay, if you have a natural disaster out in California, they have earthquakes. So if you have your house burned, like when they have these wildfires, or a tornado or a flood, the federal government makes interest-free loans. They'll make an interest-free loan to come in to build your house, or if the California is deeply in debt because of this earthquake, the federal government makes an interest-free loan, or they'll pay the employee to come in to build the overpasses that they need. They won't do the cheap overpasses. They'll build decent overpasses to replace the highway systems. They'll pay all the labor. Okay, if your city needs a new water system to replace or to build a new water system, construction workers or city workers, $300 an hour. Just a short message. The police officers, if you're sitting behind the desk, maybe $300 or $400 an hour. A police officer may drive in a squad car, 2 police officers in the car. I did this on an earlier message. But if you can't get in there to read it, it won't do any good for me to do an earlier message. I don't know whether other people can read earlier messages. I can read them, but I don't know whether other people can read the earlier messages that I put in there. I looked up my name, but I couldn't read that earlier messages. I can read earlier messages, but I don't know whether other people can. But just a short message, and I'm signing off. I got a clean energy idea. I know you can look it up in YouTube. You can go to YouTube, look up clean energy, and look at my idea. And I try to transfer these ads over to YouTube. I don't know whether you can look these up in YouTube. I hit the copy button, and I try to copy them over there. I don't know if they make the jump. But David Farmhouse signing off.